Hello everyone, welcome to Bear's Touch Intuitive. Today we're going to do a reading for how to surrender control, give it over to the forces of spirit, and allow abundance in from the universe. We'll just jump right into it. I want to pull a couple of oracle cards from the Shaman's Oracle Tarot deck. And get a couple cards about the key themes here for how to release, what are the knots and what do you call them? Let's see, knots of consciousness, we'll call it, consciousness aggregates around this concept of abundance, control, and allowing. So this is just a general reading. For now, I'm sticking to general readings, just familiarizing myself with some new gifted decks and some old revisited decks. This is a new deck for me, gifted from my aunt to my mother to me. So we'll pull 3 cards. One will be for the concept of, doesn't want to shuffle, that's stuck. That's a stuck issue for me, for the concept of allowing. And then one for the concept of surrendering control. Okay, thanks, Spirit. And then one for the concept of abundance. Okay. If anybody is interested in a personal reading, my social links will be in the description box below. You can message me for a tarot card reading, and I also do dream interpretation, which is my favorite. So, I also have a Patreon. I'll link that below if you're interested in more content for me. Thank you. Okay. All right, Spirit. How can we open ourselves to more abundance? The Witness. This is a really cool card. How can we allow more abundance into our lives? Allowing. How can we offer more allowing? The Eagle. Ooh, freedom, freedom. And how do we surrender control? The Rattle. Reversed. I wonder if there is a reversed reading for these cards. I think so. Okay. So let's read from the book here for these cards. In terms of allowing for abundance, we'll talk a little bit about witness consciousness. You can see there's the all-seeing eye here. It represents the third eye, the spirit, being in alignment with spirit. So in terms of bringing in more abundance, this card is indicating that abundance mentality begins with spiritual mentality, with realizing that we're spirits here in bodies on planet Earth, allowing ourselves to witness what it is like to be that. Essentially, we're consciousness unfolding, we're consciousness experiencing itself. So this card is asking you to not necessarily emotionally detach, but to be able to take a step back and look at the situation that you're in, myself included, that you're in from a more overarching perspective. And I remember talking to a friend recently. She was going through something with her significant other, and we spoke recently, and she said, "You told me once that I'd look back in the past or in the future, I'd look back at this situation and it would be really funny." So one thing that the Witness allows us to do is that it helps take us out of the immediate drama of a situation and kind of see it for sometimes the humorous situation that it is. And I think that's how comedians go from being like, you know, their depressed, introverted selves to like on stage laughing about whatever they're laughing about. So this card also asks us to have a little bit more humor. But let's read this oracle card and then we can clarify it. 64. So might be a life path 12. You might have been, I don't know, this might also have to do with the 12th month or a year from now, or something that happened a year previous is wrapping up for you. The witness. The witness observes without engaging in any action. By cultivating inner stillness, we are able to assess any situation from a higher perspective and make better decisions. When we can be present for someone else's difficulties with stillness, then we are able to truly hear them and give better advice. Sometimes we can be so still that we are a mirror for the other. Then, through our presence, they receive their own answers. The invitation. The witness has been by your side all along and is now ready to become your ally. You thought you were the doer, but today you discover that things happen when you get out of the way. Witness creation unfolding before you. Change reality by finding stillness and letting your true intent reveal itself. And then the medicine is to acknowledge your preconceptions, ideas, and feelings about the situation you are in, but resist the urge to change any of it. Do not fall back into your controlling patterns. Instead, take a few deep breaths. All right, and connect with the joy of not having to perform. Hold space for the world to keep spinning on its own. Ooh, that made me feel much better already. What a great card. So the witness is asking you to literally allow to be still and mirror your environment. And what's funny about becoming a mirror for your environment is that the dramas and the ego battles that would unfold and continue to unfold by engaging with them, they untangle themselves. It's kind of like if you've ever gotten a knot in like a chain, in like a jewelry chain, for instance. Like if you try to just rip it all apart, right, the knots get tighter. But if you are sort of calm and you just follow the threads as they unfold, you can, you know, in most cases, untangle it. So, yeah, mirror your environment, be still, and allow. Let's allow by allowing. All right, let's clarify that card, and then we'll move on to the next one. This is black tourmaline. It's for clearing negative energy. Now this is, the lady who gave it to me called it blue ice. I don't actually know. If anybody does, let me know in the comments. That'd be great. But it's for unlocking the throat chakra, which is appropriate for today. This is, let's see. This is a new Rider-Waite deck. The other one I had was actually a friend's, so they bought me one and took theirs back. All right. Spirit, please clarify the witness. Ten of Pentacles. All right. So the Ten of Pentacles, we're just going to read right from the book again, and then we'll talk a little bit about the more intuitive part. It says, a man and woman beneath an archway, which gives entrance to a house and domain. The divinatory meanings are gain riches, family matters, archives, extraction, the abode of a family. So in this reading specifically, and this is kind of a topic that's been coming up for me lately, is looking at the people around us as family can help to engage in this witness consciousness. Whether you have family around you all the time, whether you're alone, we're all family here on planet Earth. And part of that is indicated by this young man with the two dogs. Our family are also, animals, plants, like the living things on this earth, our crystals, our rocks. So whatever you're engaged in, whatever environment you're in, like avoid feeling like you're up in this tower up here, looking down on people from the outside. The witness, you can imagine, might be sitting in here, but our egos, our bodies, ourselves, we're engaged on a real worldly level, grounded level, on the planet Earth. So learning to engage in witness consciousness by recognizing that the more we do so, the healthier our planet will be, the healthier our environment will become, from the minute to the macro, is what this card is calling for. These are not two separate consciousnesses. The witness as spirit and the Ten of Pentacles as our body, our ego, our community. They are rather two parts of a whole. And realizing that we can engage in witness consciousness and bring it down to a grounded level through partnership with our community is what is being indicated here. So if you get any invitations to be a part of your community, definitely try and accept that, even if it's not something you would normally do, and challenge yourself to engage in witness consciousness while a part of your community. Maybe if you're a talker, try and challenge yourself to hold your tongue. And maybe if you're not a talker so much, challenge yourself to, respond when somebody is asking you to respond, when somebody's asking you to speak up. Respond thoughtfully from your witness consciousness place, not from a place of fear, wondering like, what are they thinking? How are they going to respond? Rather, be true to yourself and understand that the more you do that, the more you're encouraging your community to also do that. Excellent. Okay, let us move on. So we went from allowing to, what was it? Abundance? Yeah, and then letting go, surrendering. So allowing, abundance. The Eagle, 16. 16. The essence of the eagle comes from the east, the place of the rising sun, of new beginnings. She soars high in the sky, sees the smallest detail with clarity without losing track of the bigger picture, and nests in the high mountains. For Eagle, there are no obstacles, only opportunities. She calls you to ascend, to acquire perspective so you can fly wing to wing with great spirit. It harkens back to this witness mentality again, ascending. The invitation says, have you become trapped in your daily routine and feel you do not know where to go and what to do next? Have you lost your sense of purpose? Eagle invites you to take a deep breath and spread your wings. When was the last time you opened them? Eagle reminds you that your spirit was born to soar to the heavens. As you contemplate choices, ask yourself, do I want to live in a chicken coop, sheltered from life, counting the regular feedings? Or do I want to soar like an eagle? If your answer is the latter, then you must accept Eagle's invitation and embrace the courage that will help you choose freedom. The medicine is it is time to see through the eyes of Eagle. Let your vision of the whole and of its parts become laser-like, and set your priorities straight. What did you come to do in this life? Did you come to climb up the ladder of financial or social success? Did you come to become a better person, to heal your heart, and to realize your essential self? What is your divine mission here on earth? No more excuses. Of course you do not have time, enough money, or enough sleep, yet the time is now to fly to your chosen purpose. If you postpone it, you are betraying yourself. Look through the eyes of Eagle and consider every obstacle an opportunity. Where you set your intentions is where you'll end up. Free yourself and live your highest destiny. Fly. So I both love this card and somewhat resent the message of this card right now, because it's saying or go seize your destiny, like your spiritual destiny. And I think if it was that easy, we all would, right? If you could just say, oh, seize your destiny, go do it, then everybody would have fulfilled their destiny by now. But the eagle, while it's a symbol of freedom in America and all of that, there's an interesting story about the eagle. I think it's a Cherokee story, my mom told me, where this eagle is born amongst chickens. It falls out of its nest, and it like is raised by these chickens. It's adopted by chickens, and its whole life it thinks that there's something wrong with it. It's like the ugly duckling story, basically. Its whole life it thinks there's something wrong with it, and in short, essentially, the eagle eventually realizes it's an eagle because it meets its family, and it soars, and it's like, oh my god, like I was just trying to fit in with the wrong family this whole time, which is why I thought there was something wrong with me. So part of understanding, I think, our spiritual destiny here on this earth is to realize, like, if you're trying to fit in with somebody else, you're not going to realize your spiritual destiny, because your spiritual destiny is like a personal thing born from engaging with this witness perspective and then grounding it in the reality of our community. So the eagle has the message, which I really enjoy actually, that we need to be brave enough to embrace our individuality and to let that unfold without apology or judgment. And by engaging in that and offering ourselves forgiveness, and bringing that same forgiveness to others, we can begin to let that spiritual destiny unfold, and begin seizing it. The eagle is also a warning of arrogance. In the Celtic traditions, pagan Celtic traditions, there's a story of how the wren is the king of birds, because in a contest to see which bird could fly the highest, everybody figured it would be eagle, but the wren hid in the eagle's feathers, and when the eagle reached its apex height, the wren flew out above it and became the eagle, or the bird rather, that could reach the highest point. So the eagle warns not to be arrogant, and it also asks us to embrace the unfolding of small steps and small victories into a larger path, like with that wren story. Small little steps or little wings can create big achievements if we allow. So there we are with that allowing card and abundance card. Abundance comes from, you know, a bunch of small things leading up to or culminating in a bigger picture sort of thing, which is also, again, harkening back to this witness consciousness, bigger picture vision. That being said, don't overwhelm yourself by getting stuck in looking at the bigger picture all the time. Part of manifestation, right, is enjoying those small victories, those small destinies. So enjoy all your little pentacles here. Spirit, please clarify the eagle for abundance, mentality, abundance, and allowing and abundance. This is pretty good reading so far. I'm really enjoying it, actually. The national bird of America, of North America, of the U.S. was going to be a turkey. At least that's what I've been told. That's what I've been told. I think it was Abraham Lincoln wanted it to be, because he didn't like the eagle because it was like an opportunist scavenger. So yeah, it's appropriate that the eagle is this card, because it's asking you to be an opportunist as well, I think. Not hopefully in a way that, you know, don't step on other people. Recognize that everybody can work together, and that those connections that we have with people create opportunities. Okay. Spirit, please clarify eagle for abundance. It's the one, the hermit. Okay. So, spiritual destiny unfolding alone here. The Hermit asks you to let your spiritual destiny unfold by allowing yourself to be alone, by going within, by turning within. The Hermit is an old man, right, who holds a staff and a light, and he can make his own way through the woods, through life. He becomes more, he's self-sufficiency. So the Hermit is asking you, or clarifying the eagle, by asking you to become more self-sufficient, even in small ways, even if it's just, I don't know, if you don't cook, maybe cooking for yourself, or like one meal a week or something, or if you don't like to ride your bike to work or something, like maybe ride your bike to work, little tiny things. I was just going to post about this the other day. I haven't yet, but I just recently started foraging. I learned foraging, like it's something I study. And when I first started to forage, it was because of the pandemic. Everybody was kind of running on the stores, buying things like flour and sugar and diapers and all that, and there was just nothing on the shelves. And I'm a cook, usually. So I was in the Pacific Northwest, and we moved there, my husband and I at the time, to learn how to cook, with the ingredients there and the abundance there. And with the pandemic going on, I was like, all right, I need to like learn how to forage. So foraging is like not an easy thing, and you have to I started to realize like you have to study all the plants, right? And you have to study plant identification. And then you have to study like what not to eat first, because you need to know like what's poisonous. So you don't go out there and pick something that's like a lookalike. And then you need to learn what you're able to eat, and then you need to like identify that plant successfully multiple times before you can even eat it or pick it. And then once you pick it, you need to learn how to process it, and once you learn how to process it, you need to learn how to like cook it properly so it tastes good. So all these little steps that lead to just being able to go outside and identify something, pick it, and cook it. Like, it's not just foraging, it's like all of those little steps that create this one overarching label word. So whatever it is that you're trying to do, the Hermit asks you to just take that first step and allow that destiny to unfold. So instead of necessarily having to seize it, like the eagle was saying, go out and seize it, like it's that easy. The truth is, it becomes that easy if you allow for those little steps to unfold. So let this Hermit guide you with his light. Let your little steps be the guiding light. And again, enjoy them in the meantime. Enjoy them as part of your community. Let that unfold. Maintain your bigger awareness while being in these smaller steps. Awesome. Okay. And then finally, allowing abundance. I think this is surrender. The rattle. This was our surrender. How do we surrender this to spirit? 43. So 43 is a cool card. Just 4 and 3 obviously equals 7, and 7 is a magically sacred number for the cycles of nature. We have 7 chakras. Mary was exercise of 7 demons, which some people believe was the 7 chakras. There's, let's see, 7 layers of like the lower realities in the game of Leela, which is like the spiritual game of consciousness, and then there's the 8th level, which is like spirit. Anyway, 7, sacred number. Card number 43, the essence. The rattle is the spirit caller, carrying the shaman's prayer to the 4 directions. The body of the rattle is like the earth spinning on its axis. With the aid of the rattle, the medicine woman instills a desired destiny in her future, closing with the prayer, Great Spirit, may your will be done. Oh, that's appropriate for allowing, right? Yeah. The rattle guides us to pray for all the earth, not just for our personal needs. When we offer our prayers for the highest good of all, everything we need is provided for us. The invitation. The rattle comes to invite you to work with the tools of spirit, but be careful, they are very sharp and they can hurt you and others if they are not used mindfully. Set your tools aside and take up the drawing instruments of spirit. You are consciously stepping into partnership with the divine. This is the time for courageous deeds. Do not let your hesitation get in the way of your expression. The medicine. You want to catch God on the whisper, not on the shout. What you are trying to craft to your own desires and expectations is already there, standing before you. Do not spin the world to your own benefit. You are being offered the Creator's tools, which must be put to use to serve a divine purpose. Excellent. So in terms of allowing, I like how all of these cards are tying into one another. The rattle asks for you to pray, right? Not just for yourself, but the good of others. When, of course, we were talking about realizing community, when we realize that we are part of a community, that the abundance that we are looking for is already right in front of us. We just need to learn how to like recognize it, essentially. And then we can recognize it by becoming this witness, this reflection of what's around us, just by being still, by allowing. Then what we're doing is we're activating the energy of manifestation, not necessarily on a woo-woo level, but like literally like on a actions and consequences, like grounded reality bodily level. Like if you're going through life like shouting, first of all, this I liked that it said shouting versus the whisper. You catch God on the whisper, not the shout. If you go around talking about what it is that you're trying to do, the chances are you're probably not going to achieve it as well. There's something about holding the energy of our desires and letting that energy flow out when we're actually applying ourselves to those desires, rather than talking about those desires and those achievements to other people, that like funnels that energy more effectively. So if there's something that you're trying to do, allowing abundance, with these two cards, their main themes, allowing an abundance, which we pulled for, then this card is asking you to surrender to God's will, whichever God you subscribe to, however you subscribe to God, Creator, and not go around talking about it to everybody. Just take your little steps. Take your little steps and let those be the foundations of your faith for what you're building, your faith for the achievement of this eventually. The rattle asks that each of your tiny actions be the sounding board for the abundance that's coming to you. So if you don't quite feel like you're achieving this, take some small step today, even if all that is writing an affirmation down on a piece of paper and like burning it. Just take a small step today, and it's pretty amazing how those little tiny action steps turn into ritual, turn into like belief systems, turn into like a whole new person over time. Time is like the magic ingredient, right? So right now in this moment, give yourself a moment to think, like, what can I do right now? What one little step can I take right now to achieve what I want to achieve, my spiritual destiny, in service of myself and community, for the greatest good of all? And what can I do to surrender that? What action can I take to surrender that to God's will? Like, do you talk too much about it? Do you write about it? Do you dream about it? How can you ground your thoughts, dreams, your spoken word into reality today, right now? Okay, let's clarify that card, the rattle. I like the feathers there because the feathers are also indicative of messages from spirit. Catch God on the whisper. You know, when you're doing a tarot card reading, for instance, and you get some sort of like download, like that's our intuition, you know, spirit talking to us. Sorry, I just got this card. Ace of Wands, excellent. And this one wanted to show up, King of Wands. Okay, grounded. Anyway, when we're divining something, for instance, you might get a little whisper, or like a little like idea, like not an actual whisper, but like for intuitive people, I think you understand, like a phrase will pop into your head. So the rattle might also be asking you to be clear, to stay clear, to not necessarily listen to music that's like going to put you down, or not listen to the words of people who are not supporting you in your vision or what it is that you want to achieve, and rather fill your time, your space, your head, your spirit, your energy with supportive beliefs. All right, Ace of Wands clarifying the rattle for surrendering to spirit. A hand issuing from a cloud grasps a tout, wand, or club. The meanings of this card: creation, invention, enterprise. The powers which result in these: principle, beginning, source, birth, family, origin. The beginning of enterprises, according to another account, money, fortune, inheritance. Beginning of enterprises according to another account. So this talks about family as well. You can kind of see that there's this like city in the background here, and then literally you have like this wand, which is the element of fire, being handed to you via spirit, which is like almost the same image here as the rattle, interestingly enough. So yeah, let your actions, all your tiny actions, if in the world, like fueled by your willpower, be fueled by this connection with your divine intuition, for the greatest good of all. That's again this like castle in the background, and then this hand that's in the forefront. It can also, I mean, because of depth perception, our brains automatically assume that this is in the foreground and that this castle's in the background. But you can also look at this card as though they're at the same distance, like away, and this hand is just an enormous godly hand, like bringing out this, like, basically, I guess according to somebody living in Castle, seeing something like that huge would probably look like some sort of tree of life. Anyway, that's just a weird perspective thing, but the Ace of Wands asks you to be open to those intuitive messages and surrender to spirit that way. Allow your actions to be fueled by those intuitive messages more regularly, and let those actions build your faith, and build like an overarching picture that will help you seize your spiritual destiny in service of yourself and community, and cultivate your spiritual witness consciousness. Right, yeah, okay, finally we had this King of Wands wanting to come out. We'll talk about the King of Wands, and then I think we will end it there. King of Wands says, the physical and emotional nature to which this card is attributed is dark, ardent, live, animated, impassioned, noble. He uplifts a flowering wand and wears, like his three correspondences in the remaining suits, what is called a cap of maintenance beneath his crown. Interesting. He connects with the symbol of the lion, which is emblazoned on the back of his throne. So his divinatory meanings are dark man, friendly, countryman, generally married, honest, and conscientious. Those are strange. Some of the definitions in these cards are like super trippy. I'm like, what? Countryman, generally married, honest, and conscientious. Okay, so countryman again refers to this idea of like doing something in the service of others. It is for yourself, but let what you do for yourself be for the greatest good always. Let that be a prayer that you utter regularly. Creator, allow my actions today to be for the greatest good of myself and others. Amen. Anyway, the yellow here indicates third chakra, willpower, the red being grounded in safety, and the green being aligned with your heart chakra. So also allow your actions to keep you safe. Trust that you're going to be safe in following your heart and in allowing your intuitive guidance to maintain your actions. Allow yourself to believe that the prayers that you're offering and the intentions that you're bringing to your actions are unfolding into this larger pattern. Whether or not you can see it currently, that is going to be abundant, and already is abundant. And the more you see that, the more abundance will unfold for you. The idea that the lion is emblazoned on the back of his throne also means strength. So let your willpower become strong based on this faith in your heart self, in your fiery actions fueled by your belief in spirit. Okay, I have this like idea that we need to pull one more card. I'm going to do it from the, let's see, this is called the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. Dreams of Gaia Tarot. Can you please, Spirit, give us one more card to end off this reading? How can we become more abundant, more allowing, and more surrendered to the will of our higher selves, our great spirit? This is the one. Okay. Partnership. Let me see if there is. Okay. Dreams of Gaia Tarot Oracle deck. Very cool. This is actually the 10 of Air. 10 of Air. Okay, one final card. Oh yeah, here we go. Perfect. 10 of Air is individuation, self-actualization, liberation, altered perception, new paradigms, great mystery, paradox, and potential. Humans are paradoxical by nature. See and know your potential. The self is a whole. We were talking about that earlier. We've got the body, consciousness, ego, community, clarified by the witness, right? This like very, very deep internal individualized consciousness of a spiritual nature with like our physical hermit self, like our tiny actions that we take in the service of like this larger goal, and then community here. So individualization, or individuation rather, Carl Jung talked about individuation as like almost like a process of becoming through the pressure of like a hammer and an anvil. We encounter the duality within ourselves and constantly like are challenging ourselves to grow, or we stagnate, right? So by sort of allowing yourself to embody like more than you think your boundaries are designating for you, like by allowing yourself to do something maybe you haven't done before, entering through this angelic gate with, we've got this all-seeing eye again, witness consciousness, you're transforming your perspective. You're allowing yourself to be your higher self, and also in partnership with your bodily ego self. So this card is clarifying like allowing all of the sort of versions of yourself to live in harmony by allowing them to unfold in these, again, like smaller steps, by listening to your intuitive urges, which are coming from spirit, especially if you engage in daily prayer and intention making. Let that be your ritual, starting now. Just small ritual every day. Spirit, let my actions today be guided by you for myself and the highest good of all. Amen. Okay, so final words on this card. The process of individuation leads to becoming oneself, to stepping away from the external forces that we believe define us, to become an independent being who recognizes and embraces their own uniqueness and individuality. It is about removing the mask that we present to the public so that we are liked and respected and accepted, the face we wear, so we fit in and belong. No longer are our public face and private life very different. We present our face to the world, and if it is not liked, then so be it. If it makes us a black sheep in a flock of white sheep, then so be it. We would rather be honest and accepted by the few than to be what family or society expects. So if you're a person who is struggling with individuation, be aware that the more you accept yourself, kind of ironically, the more you accept yourself, like the more that's going to trigger people who are unhealed in accepting themselves to like say things to you or want to bring you down, right? The process of manifestation is kind of like anything that's unhealed between you and that manifestation arises when you want to manifest it. So that's part of the healing powers of the witness. When you begin to individuate and be in your power, and when you take your mask off and you start to trigger people who haven't had the courage yet to take their masks off, the stillness of the witness in the present moment, in physicality, in physical reality, being still and seeing somebody for who they are, seeing the mask that's triggered by your individuation, and being able to like reflect that for them, not by like being mean about it or mentioning it. You know, this isn't like, you don't go around being like, I see your mask, but being able to be still with somebody who's like in a triggered space, because you've been there, and being able to see them, you know, and accept them and realize like even our masks are an integrated part of ourselves, right? Is going to allow you to not have to engage again in those ego battles ego battles with other people. It's going to allow you to do your hermit mode and also your community mode, to achieve the abundance, to rather welcome in the abundance. It's not even a matter of achieving it necessarily. It's a matter of training your brain to recognize the abundance that you have is already here and present for you. And we are allowing it by asking for it through prayer, by asking God to allow us to recognize it, whichever God you ascribe to allow us to recognize it. And by moving in our power and our strength toward this individuation, knowing that this is how we are best in service to the people around us. We are not in service by keeping our fake masks on. We are in service by having the bravery to show ourselves, to integrate ourselves, to be of service to ourselves, knowing that that is radiating into the present moment for others and encouraging them to do the same. All right, everybody, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Yeah, love and light to you all. Bye.